Good afternoon, everybody. Eric here with American Business Systems and want to welcome you to this Wednesday's webinar. When is the time to launch your new business? We're going to talk about why you need to be doing that here as we start to close out this year, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes as we let some more folks gather into the webinar meeting this afternoon. So let me kind of pull that open and see what we have here as some attendees. So see who we have here. Ahmad, good to see you once again. Good. Lavina, good to see you. Jennifer, Marina, Michelle. Let's see who else there. Is it Arf? Arif, good to see you. Cecilia, good to see you. Deandra. So yeah, we got a good group of folks still coming in here. So welcome to be on our webinar this week. Again, for those that have never met me, my name is Eric Auger. I am here with American Business Systems, be one of your co-hosts for this afternoon, and be working here with Patrick Phillips, the CEO of American Business Systems. So y'all come on in. We get a good seat here up close to the front as we get started on this Wednesday's webinar. Again, we're going to be talking about when is the time to launch your new business. You may be thinking, do I do it during the end of the year? Do I do it at the beginning of the year? Do I do it during a pandemic, not during a pandemic? We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff like that this afternoon and kind of get you prepared on what you should be doing. And if you're looking to go into 2021, some things that you need to be thinking about. So as there's some more folks that are piling in here, this is a reminder for each of you that are looking into getting into anything on the medical side, especially medical billing, the whole revenue cycle management. Now is the time where doctors are kind of starting to close out their year, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do differently come 2021. So just remember that this year has been somewhat of a strange year. I don't have to tell you any more than that. This has been a very interrupted type of transition here of a year, but it's going to make things very, very interesting come 2021 because the doctors are going to be looking for a new way of making revenue. We've got some help for you here. All right, so as we are, I think we've got just about all the people that might be coming in here at the beginning. So I always kind of like to give it like a couple of minutes before I go on to the next slide. So we should be seeing my slide right now, and we're going to turn it over. So we'll make sure that you're hearing me. So if you don't mind, if you'll click on that question box over there and just type something in that, yes, you can hear us. Someone says they're actually in the car driving, hard to communicate easily, but you're being able to do it. So very good. All right. So yes. Okay. Everybody says yes, you can hear me. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. So again, that question box area is obviously we want you to utilize that throughout the presentation today. That's how we communicate back with one another. We've got everybody's mic muted, obviously, so that we don't have any background noises or any feedback going on. But you can communicate with us, and Patrick and I will be monitoring these the question box as we kind of go through. There's Trudy, see you. Yep, Cecilia, good to see you. Keisha. So yep. Perfect. Thank you so much for being able to help me out there. Let me tell you a little bit about American Business Systems. Well, we know about Patrick Phillips. You may not know about the lady to your left there. That's his wife of several years. And I'll let Patrick tell you how long they've been married, but for quite some time. She's the one that's really the originator of the whole thing about medical billing. She was one that kind of got it kick started and gave Patrick the idea and said, hey, we might be able to turn this into a big family business. And so they did. And so over 30 years ago, they've been in the medical revenue management business. 26 of those years have been helping people like yourself get started in medical billing. And boy, has it changed. Man, you talk about moving from the old days where you had I think probably back in the days of floppy disk, if everybody remembers that. Some people may not even know what a floppy disk is, but in those days where you had to actually have a big old honking computer just to do a little bit of work there. So, but now we are a cloud-driven type of business. So everything from the medical billing billing system to the electronic medical records to having it on an iPad or an iPhone or a smartphone or a tablet or anything sort of like that. We have an award-winning piece of equipment there and software to be able to help you get that done. Folks, we've helped people just like yourself, coast to coast for the last 26 years, helping people get started in medical billing. So let me tell you about who Patrick Phillips is. He is our founder and the CEO, like I've already mentioned. He is a best-selling author, has written several books, The New Thriving Medical Practice, we're actually going to talk about today, because we're going to show you how you actually utilize that in your marketing. We'll show you how to do that. And if you want to get a copy of those other two books, just get back with the person that invited you. I'm sure they'll steer you in the right direction of trying to figure out how to reprogram yourself for success, or looking over the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow book, which is some great information in any of these books, will help you along the way. And then also Patrick is a contributing editor on the editorial board with Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. He's also the co-founder of MERMA, which is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And really, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Patrick to go ahead and join us this afternoon via video. Good to see you, Patrick.
Hey, good to see you, Eric. Thanks for putting this together today. This is a very important webinar, just not for our business, but in general. Folks, if you're looking to get into a business and start a business, especially one that you can work from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection, and it's in the medical field, which is pretty hot right now, I can't imagine a better one. So we're going to talk specifically today why you should start this business right now. I'm talking about right here, October 7th of 2020, because, well, like Eric said, the year's coming up. You know, to get trained and get, your stuff together and put everything together for your company to hit the running on the first of the year, which is when doctors really start thinking about their past year's revenue and how they need to fix it. This is the time.
It really is. So folks, we're already kind of stacked up already with other people that have come on board with us. We've already got some training scheduled out. It really is a first come, first served basis on our training right now. So, here you are in the middle of the, beginning of October. Next week is the 15th, so we'll be halfway through the month already just by next week already. So if you're wanting to kind of get some things started, now's the time to start thinking about how you're going to want to get your training, all your marketing material, all in order, everything that you're going to be needing to get with your business cards, and so that you go out this year with a little bit of marketing and then be able to hit it very hard come the first part of January. So now's a good time to start thinking about what you're going to want to do. However, Patrick, we're talking about when is the best time. We have to beg the question, why would anybody want to get started in the middle of a business during a crisis? Wouldn't you not want to get, involved in any type of business right now in the middle of a pandemic?
Oh, that's a good question. And you know what? We just happen to have the answers because not us, but we've got authorities, folks, that we're going to give you the actual references. You can go look these articles up. These are all real recent articles we're going to be covering today that we specifically will read to you exactly what business leaders, people who are knowledgeable about this industry and the business in general, what they say about, hey, is this a good time to start a new business? So, Eric, let's start with that first article.
You bet. Now I want to remind everybody that if you'll go over there in your control panel, underneath where the question box area, you should see some handouts. Patrick and I put a couple of handouts over there for you. You can go ahead and download those so that you can go back and read all of the articles that you need to read on the ones that we're sharing with you. So this time to launch a new business title for this particular webinar really kind of came from this. Why right now is the best time to ever start a business. And this guy, Alex Gold, who is a writer for Entrepreneur Magazine, you can see that. You can look at the website article down there below. I love how he started this whole thing here. He says this. He says, now this is kind of him talking to a friend of his. So he says, I'm really concerned about starting a new business right now. I think the world is too unstable and it's too risky. He says, a close friend of mine was relaying to me just the other day. He says, I have a job. I don't want to voluntarily quit, have my company fail, and then struggle to find something on the other side. And I asked the question, Patrick, gosh, does this sound like anybody on the call right now? I mean, these are questions that people are truly going to be asking. These are valid questions.
Hey, I'm going to turn mine off. That'll just give them more to see on the screen that's important. So
I think
they
that
know
might
who we are.
help.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
again, this is an article that this guy Alex Gold started off, and it's set in a frame where he's talking to a friend of his, and I mean, obviously everybody can read what he said here, but Patrick, I said, does this kind of sound like anybody on the call might know, including themselves? I mean, who wants to quit their job voluntarily just to go jump into a new business, just knowing that, gosh, it may not work?
right. That's a scary thing, I know, for everybody. But Eric, as you know, we've shown in the past companies that have started during crisis like this. I think we even have a list on one of the other articles. There's a lot of big companies you've heard of. I mean, Uber and a lot of them that were all started during a crisis of some sort, a recession, for example. And so it has been done, and it's being done right now. We know because the people who are going through our training right now are actually, during this pandemic, have actually signed up clients. So we know that it's still a very valid business. Doctors need help more now than they ever did.
Well, he goes on in this article where again he says he's telling his friend, you really need to look at things differently. He says, I responded. He goes on to say, you need to look at the extraordinary opportunities and the low barriers to entry for starting a company right now. That almost sounds like ABS so far. You
Yeah.
can have access to people and talent that you would not have had previously. And the guy says, yes, I know, but I'm still worried. My friend immediately responded, I guess what I want to have is my cake and eat it. So, there we go.
Sure.
And this is a great article. I encourage everybody to go finish reading it. The guy here, Alex Gold, put some good information and content out there for you to really consider. But really, what's important right here, Patrick, is the extraordinary opportunity and then the low barrier for entry. Why don't you talk about both of those right now?
Well, for one thing, folks, this is a good time because, believe it or not, our doctors now have more time. They have more free time. They're not seeing as many patients. And they are thinking right now, how can I make up for this low income that I've had for the past 3 or 4 months? How can I make that up the rest of the year? So they're very open to talking to anybody who comes to them and say, hey, I can help you increase your revenue. I am a medical revenue manager. See, folks, this goes way beyond medical billing. You're helping them with every aspect of the revenue inside their office. You can help them bring in more money from patients, insurance companies, government agencies, and you can save them a lot of money in penalties and fees and things that they would normally have to pay. So we're going to show you how, bottom line, you can increase a doctor's revenue sometimes 30% of what it is. Think about that. They might be bringing in $500,000 a year, and you're going to increase that by 30%. You think they might be open to that. So that's what it means by having access to people that you would not normally had otherwise.
And then Patrick, the low entry, the cost of getting into this business compared to other franchises or business opportunities, ours still is below $30,000 right now.
Yeah, and you know what, folks? We've done that purposely. We've kept it's at 28,000 basically right now. It was much lower than that, 10 years ago. We've increased that as we've increased different opportunities and other income streams for our licensees. But folks, to have a business that has the potential, we're going to show you have the potential to make $250,000 a year. This is a low barrier entry. Believe me, you won't find anything out there like that anywhere on the internet for this kind of investment. Oh, there's lots of opportunities out there, franchises, but they start at sometimes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 just for the fee, the franchise fee. Then you have royalties every month after that. You have real estate that you have to invest in, equipment, employees. You have none of those costs with this. You'll see there's lots of advantages to owning your own business. We'll get to that.
You bet. Another article that we've kind of repurposed here again is just why now may just be the best time to start a franchise. And then, again, this is from Forbes. Obviously, this is back in July of this year, but we're just talking about 3 to 4 months ago. Here's what they said. Starting a business is tough in any climate, so why would anyone think about starting a business in the midst of a global pandemic? Over the past few months, I've seen many people become frozen with fear, allowing uncertainty to rule their lives. I've also seen many others who are taking bold and calculated risks because they understand that fundamentally, the bigger the disruption, the greater the potential opportunities that will arrive from the disruption. Patrick?
Now let me let that sink in. That phrase that he just read, folks, this is great. The bigger the disruption, put this on a plaque on your mirror. If you're thinking about starting a business, you need this on a plaque. The bigger the disruption, the greater the potential opportunities that will arise from that. You see, folks, this is a disruption in America's way of doing business. But that means the opportunities there for people who have the courage to just step out and say, you know what? I've been thinking about doing a business. This is my time. This is it. 2021 is my year.
You bet. You bet. All right, so let's first ask the question about medical billing. Is this business real or a scam? And so, Patrick, I thought I brought in on this next slide here a little bit, some information, again, from an article we've already been talking about, or people who write these articles from Entrepreneur Magazine. And they've got this article that came out in this book over here called Medical Claims Billing Service, Your Step-by-Step Guide to Success.
Yeah, Entrepreneur's been around, folks, I don't know, maybe 80, 90 years. It's a very famous magazine. You can find it on any newsstand. And they are the experts in helping entrepreneurs start businesses. Well, they have a series of books on how to start various businesses. This is one of them. Listen to this quote. The market for medical claims billers is growing exponentially with legions of providers, those are doctors, and an ever-expanding patient pool. Healthcare industry spending is expected to grow by, let this sink in now, this industry, folks, is going to grow almost 6% each year through 2024. What a perfect time to get into this business, huh?
You bet.
Then he goes on, by 2024, the healthcare spending will total $5.4 trillion and account for 19.6% of the gross domestic product. Eric, anything that's close to 20% of the entire gross domestic product is a good industry to get into. And folks, if you could draw a pie chart of $5.43 trillion, how big a slice do you think you need of that to live well? So let there be no doubt, it says healthcare is big business and its growth shows no sign of slowing. Now, this is not Eric. This is not Patrick. This is Entrepreneur Magazine saying this. This makes it the perfect time to start your own medical claims billing service. Now, folks, I'll be honest, this book is only about $20. It might be a good investment. You might learn a little bit about the industry, but let's face it, you're not going to be able to duplicate what we've done in 26 years, spending millions of dollars in research and having the platform and all the tools that you need. This is a turnkey business package that we sell. This license is a one-time, lifetime license. You're always going to be able to run this business no matter what, because, well, I've already said before, Eric, that if as long as there's human beings and they get sick and they go to the doctor has to get paid from somebody, and somebody has to get money for the doctor. That's what we do.
Yep, that's exactly correct. And it's growing, and it's growing in the right areas for the doctors to get more money, and we're going to show you actually how to be able to do that as well. And then one more article, this is from the New York Times. Again, this is in June. Is a pandemic the right time to start a business? It just might be, it says. It says there in March, as small businesses across the country were shutting down amidst the spreading COVID pandemic, Chanel Fields was about to open up one, and it goes on to say about what kind of risk that was taken there. But I'm telling you what, folks, this is a great time for anybody to start a business at all if you've got the right products. And you can see here, and Patrick's already mentioned this, that a lot of American companies that started during downturns or disruptions or whatever else was going on. Here, look at this list here. Airbnb, Disney, General Motors, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, Slack, Uber, Venmo, just to name a few. So that kind of shows you, as Patrick was sharing that with you earlier about some of this list of companies, we've got this listed in that handout. You can go take a look at it for yourself.
Yeah, in fact, folks, again, back to the handouts over there. If you download the slide deck here, you'll actually see I know that's tiny to read the little links that we have at the bottom of all these articles, but you'll be able to, open it up and zoom in and get those links if you want to read these for yourself.
Well, Patrick, another good reason for to launch your business, especially in healthcare, is again baby boomers, and we're still getting a slew of people that are turning 65 just about every day. I bet you it's more than just 10,000 a day now.
Yes, that's right. A few years back, we were quoting 10,000 baby boomers retire every day. Now, folks, here's another trend that you need to pay attention to. If you're getting into any business, get into something that the baby boomers you see are spending a lot of money on. Well, as people get older, like Eric said, parts stop working, they have more time, more money, they go to the doctor, right? And that means they're spending a lot of money. That's why this industry is going to grow by $5.43 trillion by 2024. It's
Yeah.
just it's good timing. Business is all about timing.
So let's talk about the advantages of a home-based business, Patrick. I mean, you kind of pioneered this whole thing in home-based business. I mean, obviously, ABS is a business opportunity and not a franchise. And just so that we can kind of get why did you choose not to be a franchise versus being a business opportunity?
Oh, well, two reasons. Number one, I didn't like the idea of somebody having to pay us a big fee up front, and then every month we skim off 8 to 10% of their gross revenue. That's what a royalty is. Once you've committed to a Subway sandwich shop, for example, you not only pay the $80,000 or $90,000 fee up front, plus all the other equipment costs to get it started, hiring people, but you also give right off the top of your money that comes in back to Subway. The royalties. We've eliminated that. There are no fees, as you'll see. We talk about it here a little bit later. And number two is the territory, Eric. It's just open. We don't have a 2-mile radius or 5-mile or just this city or this zip code. Folks, you can sign up and do billing for any doctor in the entire United States. Yes, that includes all of its territories in Alaska and Hawaii. So you don't have any limitations. You can grow this as big as you want to. In fact, one of our trainers, Eric, as you know, Cynthia, she has clients all over the United States. Many of them she's never met, because when a doctor, you're doing a good job for a doctor and they refer another doctor, they may be in another state. Well, you can sign them up completely over the internet without ever having to see them. So she's growing her business nationwide, and yet she's located in one little town in Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk about some of the advantages of having a home-based business. Just from a standpoint, Patrick, you want to share the story of Tim and, gosh, I can't even think of her name. What did it slip my mind?
Yeah, his wife. Sure.
Thank you. He's going to get us, isn't he?
Well, we'll never show this webinar to her, will we? Okay,
No,
so
we will not.
they've been with us, Eric, probably, I don't know, 8-10 years. And
Robin, thank you. Robin. There you go. Thank you so much. Robin, I knew somebody would get me the name there.
We don't interface a lot with Robin, but we do Tim. And Tim, believe me, he said, Patrick, my only regret, in fact, you can hear his interview. It's out there on our YouTube channel. He says, Patrick, my only regret is that I piddled around with this thing for like 2 or 3 years before I joined you. And he said, the only regret I have is that I didn't sign up and get started earlier, because now they have a full-time business. They're making a 6-figure revenue. It's been great for them. So, yeah. The best time to start a business, folks, is when you have the funds and you've got the guts to just go out and do it. There is no good time to get married. There's no good time to have a child. You will never, ever have the perfect timing in anything in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at this. I love this slide. This is a great illustration here. I've sat in some of those traffic jams, those commuting traffic jams.
And that's right. I mean, you would almost think that there's probably not a lot of traffic jams right now, but we're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and people are still driving to work like crazy. Still, but there's two sides of this. You don't have to be on the road and commute to where you might be need to go. But again, being able to work from home, maybe even some of the people that are on the call today, or maybe you're working from home and the advantage of being able to do that.
Look, no dress code. Look at this. I'm just in a casual shirt here, sitting in my home. Eric is too. It's wonderful. No bosses, no set work hours. No office politics. Folks, if you'd like to fire your boss, this is the way to do it. save up some money or put this on your credit card. If you need to use 2 or 3 credit cards, it doesn't matter. Just get into this business and see how good it is. We have a money back guarantee. I'll talk about that here a bit later, but man, it's just wonderful. Now, I'm not going to say that sometimes I don't really have on pants. Sometimes I'm just in my swim shorts or something like that. It's very comfortable here.
All right. So you've got also the increased opportunity here with all the different services. So you're not just getting medical billing, a medical billing platform or an electronic medical records platform. You're getting several different opportunities here. Everything from telehealth to coding, compliancy guard, iDocs now. You're getting an increased opportunity across the board being here because, Patrick, any of these can help open up the door to new opportunities with the doctors themselves. The doctors are going to share that information with other doctors. You can go right in from learning everything you're going to learn in your couple of weeks of training here with American Business Systems, and then be able to go market yourself as a company that has professional coders, professional coding audit people. You're going to have it right out of the gate when you start here with American Business Systems.
Yeah, folks, this can be a little overwhelming when you see that we have all these other services. Remember, these are all optional. They're included in your license, so you don't pay extra for these. But these are other revenue streams that you can offer services to the doctor that you make money on that sometimes can get you in the door. Sometimes the doctor is doing their own billing, or maybe they've outsourced it already and they're happy with their outsource. But you know what? You've got other ways of helping them in their practice. So it's better to have a whole basket load, a cart full of product and services rather than just one. So that's why we've added these over the years. Licensees came to us and say, hey, do you have a way of helping people with, marketing in the doctor's office? How do they get more patients? Well, that's how we came up with AutoCard, for example. And of course, telehealth, we've had that for many, many years, but now it's just booming. Doctors want a way to interface with their patients so they don't even have to come into the office. So we've added these over the years, and you add them only as you feel comfortable adding.
You bet.
And you make money on all of them, too.
You bet. Absolutely. We're going to get into a little bit of that. If not, we've had that in another webinar from the past. We've already talked about this. It's less risk than owning a franchise. And again, we're going to share a little bit about some of the information that you typically have with going in with a franchise. With us, when you invest with us and you get all of the different services that we've been talking about here, you also get all the marketing pieces that you're going to need to get. So we're not going to nickel and dime you, again, markup, where you have to have everything branded American Business Systems. You're getting a website. You're going to get all of the, like I said, all the marketing pieces that you need to go with. You're going to have the support that you don't have to keep on paying for. All of that is included with the $27,990, which is $28,000. And again, with the franchise, you have to pay for all of that stuff a lot of times separately.
Yeah, and we've mentioned that sometimes there's real estate involved, and of course all the equipment and hiring employees. Folks, you don't have any of that. We have licensees who've been with us for years, and they still run the entire business. Just the one person, or them and their spouse, or them and their children. Even they get them involved. You don't have to hire anybody ever unless you just want to build this thing big. Then, on the other hand, we've got licensees who've opened up not just one office, but 2 or 3 offices in different cities, and they've got 15 to 30 employees. So that's because they have hundreds of clients. You can build this as big as you want, or keep it as small as you want. So there's certainly not the risk that you'd have in opening any kind of franchise or any other business that's similar to ours. Because folks, again, I'm the only company that I know of that offers a money-back guarantee, and that's very important to minimize your risk in anything.
You bet. And we talk about recession proofing, but I would almost go into pandemic proofing because our licensees who were doing billing for their doctors already prior to the pandemic, they never even skipped a beat. Matter of fact, they actually increased a lot because there were other doctors at that point who were really looking for some help. Yeah,
folks, think about it. We've gone through all kinds of stuff in this industry. Remember, we've been doing this for 26 years. So if you think back over the last 26 years, some of you probably not quite that old, but the point is that we've managed to go through all of this because this is recession proof, in that people will always be going to the doctor, and the doctor has to get paid. And we are the experts in helping the doctor maximize their revenue. We can get every penny that they could possibly get out of those insurance companies because we've learned how to do that efficiently, and we have the right software platform that allows us to do that as well.
You bet. Absolutely. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some potential earnings. Now, we've gone into entire webinars where we spent the entire hour talking about your earnings, your potential earnings. So in this little part of it, we're just going to be talking about, what's going to be helpful for you as you do this. But again, let me remind you as we kind of get to the bottom of the hour, because there's some more people that have joined in with us since we started at the beginning. And again, folks, we're talking about and helping you answer the question, when is the best time to launch your business? And again, for some of you that maybe came in a little bit late, now is the time to invest in yourselves, especially here towards the end of the year, because in this particular business, doctors are starting to look for changes, especially coming out of this COVID problem and the pandemic issue. They're looking for ways for themselves to increase their earnings. And so we're going to show you what kind of earnings you can make, but we're going to also show you in turn how you're going to be able to help those doctors increase their earnings. And now is the time to do that, because here, as we start to close out the year, the doctors are looking to make a change, going into the new year fresh. They need some fresh ideas. They need some new blood into their business models of what they need to do. And so take advantage of being able to do all the training online. All your marketing is being done online right now. You're not having to go out and do a lot of things outwardly like that. So this is again, a great opportunity, and ABS has all that taken care of. So now let's talk about some of the potential earnings here. And on our website, we have what's called a income calculator. So you can kind of guesstimate really what's going on here. And if you're working with 5 doctors, and those doctors are seeing about 20 patients a day, and they're open 5 days a week, and you're charging 7% of $150, the return of what you're getting there is about $273,000 a year for working with 5 offices. And Patrick, the reason we chose 5 is because that's about the average amount of what our licensees are currently doing, anywhere from, I'd say, 4 to 6, maybe even as high as 8. Now, there are some of those, we call those 1%ers out there that are really, doing very well with 25, 50, 100 doctors, but
right.
We're trying to keep it down as low as possible, as realistic as possible.
Yeah, and folks, 5 offices, 5 providers, 5 doctors that you're doing billing for will not take you more than probably 30 hours a week. That's the great thing, is that you make a tremendous hourly rate for doing this work, working from home, setting your own schedule. You can work 24/7 if you want to, because the internet's open 24/7. And so look at the potential that's there. Now, you can put in your own numbers in that calculator that's on our website. Just go out there and look for income potential or something like that up at the top and plug in your own numbers. But those are just averages that we put in there just so you could see what's possible. Folks, that's $23,000 a month. Now, do you have some expenses? Of course. But if you're doing all the billing yourself, most of that, I'd say, Eric, 80% of that is theirs to keep in their pocket.
You bet. Yeah.
That's a pretty good monthly income.
That is a very good monthly income, and enough where you can probably hire other people to be able to help you out there with. And again, there's the yearly $273,000 a year. And again, that's a pretty decent salary for yourself, and enough there where you probably pay someone 60, 65,000 a year, maybe, to even do some of the other work that you've got to be doing with those doctors here. So, you could be averaging $170,000, $180,000 after a few expenses, and then having a full-time business employee that's working with you at, like I said, $60,000, $65,000, $70,000 a year. That's pretty good income for both of you, and that was all with an investment of $27,990, $28,000.
Yeah, and Eric, the great thing is that people don't realize that this kind of potential is only for usually those types of businesses that have an investment of, $250,000.
Right.
Ours is $28,000 investment, folks. It's not a big risk at all for this kind of upside.
Yeah. And then you got the tax advantages of what you can be able to do there. If you look there, and Patrick, kind of tell us a little bit about some of the tax advantages of being able to work from home yourself.
Yeah, there's two people in the United States, two sorts of people. One are the people who are workers, they're employees. They have to pay taxes just based on their, revenue that they get from their company, whatever they get paid. And then there are business owners. Folks, if you're business owners, you have tax advantages way beyond what you can even imagine. Look, there's even a book out on how to pay zero taxes. That's right. All legally. This is written by a CPA and an ex-IRS agent, by the way. So it's all legal, but look at some of the deductions that you have. I think that next slide, Eric, shows all the different things that you're now spending money on all these things that you see listed here, right? In some way in your life. What if you could deduct most of that? Well, that's what the tax law says you can do. So you're doing it all legally. And that's the great thing, folks. You can bring home more money in your own business and keep a lot more of it as well.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And then what I love best about being able to work from home is more time with the family. I mean, you get to set your pace. Like you said, if you want to work a little bit later, get up earlier and get up earlier and have more time with your family during the day or during the evening, you can certainly be able to do that.
Yes, and it's funny, Eric, we've used this slide, and during this pandemic, maybe you don't want to spend more time with your family. That's a possibility too. So we encourage you to either get a little room that you can just close yourself off into, or work in the middle of the night, where your kids are not up.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It is great. And Eric, as you know, you've mentioned this was a family business for me. I have a son who's the president of the company, by the way, and a daughter. Both of them have children. We grew up, in this business together and built this business together. And we're one of the few, families that can do that and not kill each other.
Absolutely. And you know what? When you get to start working for yourself and you've got the opportunities that you've got in front of you, there truly is less stress for yourself, because again, you're going to find out that being able to work from home, taking some of the tax advantages that you can take advantage of, and folks, we're talking the big picture here. We're not, there's going to be work that's going to have to be done. You're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to market yourself. This is a real business. It's not something that we're telling you pie in the sky. We're not going to tell you that you're going to make $273,000 your first year. What we can tell you is you've got the highest chance to get your return on investment within the first year of being in business, and if not double that. But we're talking about people that, just like what I showed you earlier, with all those other people that have joined American Business Systems and they've been in it with us, and those people are still with us, and they do truly have a less stress part of life, being able to know that they've got control of their own destiny.
Yes, that's a good point, Eric. Stress is a big thing for a lot of people right now. Being in your own business, of course, there's some stress always in any business. There's going to be decisions to make and things like that. But the great thing is, folks, that once you have your own business, you are in control of your life. You take the vacations when you want to. And you know what? Opportunities for professional growth. Eric, I love this business, don't you? We've been doing this you've been with me for what, 12, 13 years? And we love it still, don't we? Because we're growing. Every day we learn something new. There's always something new to learn in this industry, and such a growth industry that we're constantly reading new books and attending webinars and developing new materials for the licensees. It's just a great way when you're on your business, folks, to really focus on you and your own professional growth. And the more you run your business, the more experience you have, the more you're even qualified to even work for somebody else down the line if you wanted to go back to being an employee.
You bet, yeah. And you can have again more increased productivity. Again, being able to work for yourself And again, it's because of the freedom that you've been able to have. And what I mean by increased productivity is because of the different services that we have here in American Business Systems, and then some of the new ones that are coming on board. I mean, when COVID hit, we shifted a lot of things around. We put some new services in play for that productivity and to get you in front of other doctors and do that very quickly. So that's what we're talking about here. You've got so many different options that, especially here again at ABS, we can move on a dime here. Because the company is small, it's family driven. Listen, the Phillips family knows that you can't just stay stagnant. You gotta be able to move and shift and groove with whatever's coming through our way. And believe me, with Adam being at the head as president, and he's looking forward to the future, seeing some things there, Patrick. I mean, seeing increased productivity not only helps the licensee, but obviously it helps ABS as we go forward.
Yeah, and then a creative outlet as well. Folks, you always have a way of developing stuff. Eric, you developed all of these slides. This is a very creative thing that you're doing for the prospective licensees. And you can do that in your own business, folks, developing your own marketing materials and slides. Even though we have a ton of stuff that we give to you, it's just good to know that you always can learn something new. That's how you grow in life. Now let's talk about those franchise fees again, Eric. No franchise fees at all, folks. In fact, there are no ongoing fees of any kind. We mean that. No training fees, no new support fees every year like some companies have. There are no hidden fees. And once you realize that, folks, you'll realize that this one-time investment of $28,000 is like putting money in the bank.
That's correct. Yeah, folks. And again, with no franchise fees, no hidden fees down the road, you don't have to worry about it. And Patrick, I think you've already mentioned earlier that there are actually no territory restrictions either.
Yeah, this map shows you the territory. Here's your territory, folks. There it is, including Hawaii and Alaska. So you literally can have a nationwide business running it from your home. By the way, Eric, you know we have a licensee couple right now. Right now, we used to have one I talked about in the past, but there's a couple now that has an RV. They run the business as they travel all over the United States. They have I guess a satellite or something on top that gets their internet connection. And of course, they got cell phones and scanners and printers and all that inside the RV. So while they're traveling, they're running their business. It doesn't matter where you're at. Once you've signed up a client, they don't care where you're at. If you're bringing the money in for them that you said you would, and they get that deposit in their bank account automatically every week, the doctors love what you're doing.
You bet. And now we've got this up here. It's very small, and again, you can print this out so you can have it in your handout. But this is what we would consider to be your potential clients. There's a lot of potential clients out there, and folks, anybody that's on the call today, you've got any maybe billing knowledge of anything, we're focusing on any doctors, any providers out there that are billing on what's called a CMS 1500 form. Everybody that you see on that list right now bills on a CMS 1500 form. I promise you, you won't be without a big pool of doctors to try to go after.
Yeah, folks, there's so many out in your area. Listen, we've already shown you that you only need a handful to make a real good income. Why would you worry about getting clients when there are thousands of them probably within your marketing area? And I don't think of your area as your neighborhood or even your zip code or area code. Your territory may be several cities around you. Maybe it goes out 50 miles. Who cares? Once you get those first clients in that area, you can build it as big as you want.
And then we've already talked about no hidden costs or no hidden fees again, but again, we talked about software updates that happen in real time, and again, it's at no cost. Now, let me also take this advantage of this right now, and on a couple of things. We've got about 15 more minutes to the webinar, so if you got any particular questions, feel free to go put those in the question box area. But if you will also get back with the person that invited you to the webinar today. If you haven't gotten a chance to see the platform in real time, they will give you a tour, which means that what that means is they're going to give you a demonstration of the software. Now, this is great for two reasons. One, you really get to see how the software works. And number two, You're going to actually get to see how, when we do the demonstrations for you, for your doctors, how that will go about too. So you're going to want to take advantage of getting back with your rep here at ABS, ask them to do a demo for you, and then also talk to them about it. Really, are there no hidden fees? There's no, everything happens in real time. You'll find out that what was on there yesterday may be some updates today.
Yeah, and folks, wait till you see this system. This platform is totally integrated. We have the billing and practice management you see there on the left. We have the electronic medical records, which the doctors can use on their iPads when they're seeing the patients. And of course, we have the billing. We have the patient portal. All of it's integrated, all written by the same programmers sitting in the same room where we throw Pepsi and pizza to them every once in a while. This is the latest, like Eric said earlier, award-winning software that's out there that does this, and it runs on anything: Windows, Apple's, Chrome. It doesn't matter what the platform is. It's platform independent.
Yeah, you bet. And then you're going to be trained, like we mentioned to you earlier, this online training that happens is going to happen over probably about a 2-week period. You know, you could take up to about 30 days to be able to do that. But once you're done, you're going to be trained and certified as a medical revenue manager. So you're going to be, you can actually have these initials behind your name, CMRM, so Certified Medical Revenue Manager. You're going to learn about the entire revenue cycle management and how that's going to help you, again, go out there and share, you know, talk with the doctor and say, yep, I'm a complete certified medical revenue manager.
Yeah, and so I think the next slide there actually shows what that little illustration there on the brochure. This is the revenue cycle, folks. If you're wondering what we're talking about, everything that has to do with helping the doctor to get money into their practice and save money, that's what we do. When you put all this together, it means a lot more bottom line money for the doctor. This is like selling popsicles in the Sahara Desert. Would that be hard? When you go out and talk to a doctor about increasing their revenue by, say, 20 to 30%, what doctor wouldn't want to pay attention and at least listen and see what you have? So anyway, we have ways of doing that, but you're not just a medical biller, believe me.
You bet. And one of the advantages, again, of the system is its own built-in clearinghouse. Now, what I'm showing you right now is an illustration of what a clearinghouse does and typically how it is with how the current doctors are doing billing right now, or in their billing staff or billing company. Most billing companies, most doctors' offices, they have a piece of software in their office, and it's just called a billing system. That's all it is. It's just a billing system, but it's not a clearinghouse. They have to connect that clearinghouse to their program in order to get claims to these buildings over here, which are illustrated as insurance companies. So you can see whenever the claim gets processed through here, it goes directly to a clearinghouse, and then from the clearinghouse, then it will go to the insurance companies. Now, with our system, we have a 100% cloud-based billing system, which everything happens inside of here, including the clearinghouse. The clearinghouse is involved in our system. So when we're processing claims directly to the insurance companies, and we're not having to worry about anything getting lost in the shuffle or anything else. Plus, we're able to show the doctor real-time reporting because of the clearinghouse. You can see right here in the middle of this graphic right here. This is why we're showing this to you. We rarely show this, but we wanted to show this to you, how this actually works. You can see where it says rejected 0 to 30, rejected 30 plus, accepted 0 to 7, accepted 7 plus. This area right here will show you where the claims are. This part of it is the clearinghouse. You would not be able to see that information in another billing system outside of ours. And it's all because we own the clearinghouse. We can see it from start to finish, and not only see it from here, we can see it go through the clearinghouse. We also see it being sent to the payer. And many times, Patrick, that's within 24 hours of submitting claims.
Yeah, and that's all because this is a cloud-based system. Now, folks, what that means is we have servers in various parts of the United States, redundant servers that have all of our data stored on there. They're backed up nightly. They're very safe. They've never gone down in 20 some odd years. And this is the way all software is going, the cloud, which means the data is in real time. When you push the button to submit a claim in our system, it immediately goes to the clearinghouse, and it's done all automatically behind the scenes in real time. So the reports that you can show to the doctor, you can give them a login to the system so they can see this for themselves. They know exactly where their money is at every moment of the day or night. They can check on it from their phone in the middle of the night if they want to. That's what's great about our system versus having all the data maybe stored on your computer or a cloud server in your office. We handle all that for you. And again, it's very redundant, it's very safe. It's the most secure system that we know of out there. And of course, it's all HIPAA compliant.
One of the other advantages I want to share with everybody, and again, we're kind of getting close to the top of the hour already. So folks, y'all hang on with us. We got about less than 10 minutes left here. But one of the other advantages that I'm going to encourage you to ask your ABS rep that you're working with, especially if you're going to have them show you a demonstration, is how this eligibility request works. So folks, everybody knows that, most patients, when they go see the doctor, they've got insurance, and that doctor needs to verify insurance before they actually see the patient. There's a lot of doctors that don't get paid because their staff don't get an opportunity or they fail to check insurance eligibility. Let me show you what's something that's built inside of our system because we are the clearinghouse. This allows us to do something extremely different than any other system out there. You can see I've kind of got this blown up right here, and it's got this little shortcut here, but you can see whenever I click on eligibility request, that will get me to this particular area over here, which will allow me to put in the payer, who the provider is, put a subscriber number in there, as you can see right down here, and click on lookup, and then that's going to bring in the entire patient information of all of the everything from the patient directly, like here from Aetna, will come in directly into the system. And then with one more click of a button from here, we can actually populate the patient demographics from here. So imagine that the front office never has to type in a first name, last name, street address, phone number. All of this is going to be pre-populated, and it goes right directly into the system. There's no other system that we have been able to find that does exactly what we've just shared with you so far.
Right, folks, you have huge advantages in the marketplace just from our award-winning platform itself. And the fact that we're the only company that we know of that has the built-in clearinghouse. That is hugely important if you're getting into this industry, because if you don't know anything about clearinghouses, there's about a dozen out there that you could choose from, and you got to know how to set up, who gives the best service, blah, blah, blah. That's why we've just decided to take that on ourselves. And that's why our rejection rate is much, much lower than most clearinghouses. Ours is less than 2% rejection rate, folks. Some of them are up to 20, 30% rejection rate. So we've got huge advantages. Now, Eric, we've already talked about the other income streams. These are the brochures we've designed, some professional brochures that we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can see, folks, even though it's not a franchise, it looks like one. Look at all of our marketing materials here. We've got books that you can use. We've got brochures, presentation folders, postcards. I think we show the postcards next. Here's some of the full color postcards. And folks, this is automatic. Yes, these are full color cards sent by mail, but it's all online and automated. You don't ever touch anything. This is all printed and mailed directly to your prospects online. As you can see, it's all branded. You can design those cards any way you want to. There's thousands of them out there to help the doctor build their practice. And it's just a part of one of those many services that you just saw there.
Yeah, and we've already got, like Patrick says, we've already got built-in campaigns built out for you, ready to go. They can start what's called drip marketing to the doctors, again, without you even having to leave your home, going and knocking on any doctor's door. A lot of this stuff start coming to them, and a lot of our licensees are getting business just by simply sending stuff out. And Patrick, one of the things that gets sent out are these books. You want to share a little bit about how these books work?
Yeah, folks, I wrote this book along with Dr. Vicki Rackner, who's a very famous retired general surgeon. She travels all over the United States speaking to doctor groups. And we wrote this book called The New Thriving Medical Practice because we wanted to give doctors hope. In today's world right now, they need to know that they can thrive in their own private practice. Well, look at the great thing about this book is that we can co-brand this with your name right on the cover. I know it's kind of hard to see down there at the bottom, but that's your name will be right down there as having written the forward. Now, we'll give you some guidelines on doing that, or we've got a pre-written one that's just very generic. And the great thing is on the inside of the book, you get to put your contact information right at the end of the forward. So this is like a business card. This is about $24 out on Amazon, but don't go buy it. We can send you a PDF of this so you can see it. And the doctors get a real printed copy of it. Look, I've got one right here. I'm going to turn on my webcam if you just want to see that we've actually this is a printed book that you can give to the doctor with your name right down there at the bottom with your initials that we're going to give you, certified medical revenue manager. So in fact, look, Eric, I've got the other books here too. We've got one called 10 Critical Questions for Physicians in Private Practice that you can have your name right there on the back cover along with Dr. Vicki Rackner's picture. We've got how physicians can get more patients that we use as a marketing tool for the doctors, a gift to them. We've got another one just about to come out, 9 Ways Physicians in Private Practice Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. Yeah, this is going to be a great one too, Eric. They'll be able to put their name right on the front cover of that too. So yeah, we spent thousands of dollars, folks, developing marketing tools. Believe me, we have what you need to market to your clients in a consultative way.
And folks, we're getting close to the end here, but again, I know I've already shared this with you about live demos, but these are live demos that are done for you. So not only do we have everything taken care of for you, again, we encourage you to go out there and really be able to let us do those demos for you. Patrick, we're going to kind of wrap up here. Why don't you share a little bit about the support site, and then we'll get into the money back guarantee.
Yeah, once you've gotten into our business, folks, don't worry, we're not going to leave you. Remember, we make money on the back end as well from the fees that you earn on some of those other services we talked about. You don't pay that to us, our partners do. But look at this, folks, we have a lifetime support site that's been out there for, I don't know, since 2014 or something like that. Over 300 business documents are out there that we've developed and passed through our attorneys, over 100 hours of in-depth training, video, audio training, interviews with successful other licensee owners, weekly industry updates are out there, ongoing training webinars that we do, 2 or 3 of those a month, access to physician partners. That's right, Dr. Vicki Rackner is going to be your partner in this business, and personalized books by Dr. Vicki Rackner. Folks, this is the most complete support system. That includes, of course, all the email and phone support that you need as well forever. It's a lifetime support.
Well, Patrick, we made it to the end. we had a chock full of information here today to try to talk about when is the best time to start your new business. Hopefully, folks, we've covered everything that you feel like you might need to kind of help take some of that fear out of your thinking, that it may not be the right timing or anything else. So, that's what we kind of started off the whole webinar with, was that article. But Patrick, one other thing that kind of helps take a little bit of the edge off here too is your 100% money back guarantee. Let's talk about that, and then we'll kind of share what we're going to do next week. I know there's some people that got to leave right up here at the top of the hour, but let's talk about this, and I'll get that slide prepared, ready to go.
Yeah, folks, a few years back, I don't know, it's probably been 6 or 7, 8 years ago, I decided to offer a 100% money back guarantee. Now, how can you do that when we're going to let you see all of our proprietary information? You're going to go through the entire training and see what this business really is all about. I mean, Eric and I could be, exaggerating things. You know how people are when they're trying to sell you something. We're just letting you know the facts. But the point is, we could be saying something that you don't like, that you don't know, unless you go through the training. Once you have, if there's anything that you don't like about this business for any reason, you just don't like the way Eric cuts his hair, you don't like the way I wear comfortable shirts, it doesn't matter. We have a 100% money back guarantee. Now, if you find that hard to believe, here's the only reason we can offer that. It's less than like 0.1% of the people that come through our training that ask for it. So we know what we have, and we're secure in that. And anyway, that's all in writing in the agreement. Ask your ABS rep to see that.
There you go. Folks, here are just a quick your next steps for you to take advantage of here. Obviously, we want you to look over the research guide. We've got a downloadable research guide that you can download. You can print if you would like to. You can go browse our YouTube channel. Patrick and I have been doing this for, I don't know, 12 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos out there you can watch. Yeah.
You can go out there and go look at as many YouTube channel videos that we have out there on youtube.com/YABS. And then some important things you should be doing, and that is to ask your ABS rep for an owner's reference list so that you can call some of these folks, get that live demo. You know, you've heard us stress this everything. And then again, reserve your spot for your first training online session so that you can get all your training done here at the end of the year. Start working out so that you can really get going here at the first part of the year and working with these doctors.
Now, let me just talk just a moment about the live training. And Eric's got up there next week's webinar. If you want to get that link there, Eric, you're going to drop that in the question box there for him, or the chat box?
I've already got that in there.
Good. Folks, I'm going to be interviewing a successful ABS licensee, like we have many. I've done over 100 of these interviews. So if you want to know somebody who's actually gone through the training, invested their money, they've got their business going, and what they're doing with it right now, you're going to love this interview. And you'll be able to ask questions live to that person. Now, the training is all done virtually. That means that usually we had people travel down here and stay at a hotel for a week. But late last year, even before we knew there was going to be a pandemic, we started doing it online. Why not? Everything can be done now online. So we use technology like we're using today. You actually interface with the instructor, and it's just you and one live instructor. Not just an instructor we've taught out of a book how to do this. This is somebody who's running their own business, and they've been running it for many years, and they can tell you exactly what works, what doesn't work, and there's no question you can ask our instructors that they can't answer. It's set by you and the instructor on your schedule, and that's why Eric said you could get this done in 2 weeks if you want to. There's 8 modules, about 12 hours of training. This is the initial training. Remember, there's a lot more out there on our support site. But you set your own schedule, or take up to 30 days if you want to. Remember, you can get your money back at the end of 30 days, so I'd try to get the training done in 30 days at least.
Yeah, because that'll push you all the way into November. I mean, we're already, like I said, halfway through October. So I'm going to put this last slide up over here, Patrick. It has our phone number there, 866-565-8413. Give us a call. Schedule that demo that if you haven't done that already. If you'll go over there and now look in the chat area or in your question box area, we've already got the link for next Wednesday's webinar. So please go check that out. Register for next week. Patrick, I think we've covered everything that we can cover so far.
Yeah, I see a couple of questions that came in that have been answered to those individuals. Ahmad is asking if anybody's in the office on the weekend. Ahmad, we have representatives that work, again, they work from their home, but those are the people we call our business consultants. And yes, they'll talk to you just about any time, day or night. So just get back with the person who sent you the email, bringing you to this webinar, and they'll be glad to talk to you. He also asked the question, Eric, any of the licensees failed in this business? Yes, Ahmad, people fail in every business. We have a very low failure rate, but sometimes that's just because people don't know how to follow a system. You know, we call ourselves American Business Systems because we've worked this out. However, there are some people who maybe have a background in marketing or sales or, you know, running their own business, and they think they know better than we do. And many of those people on the interviews, you'll hear them say, you know, I tried my own way. I thought I knew better than you guys for the first year or two, and I didn't make it. But now I'm ready to get started and do it your way. And we can make anybody successful, Ahmad, that wants to be successful. All you need is one client to get started with. One, that's right. Okay, Eric, I think that's it. Thank you folks for being here. I hope we see you next week or maybe at one of our training classes. I kind of call people and talk to them as they're going through the training, make sure everything's going good. And we're a very family-oriented business, very supportive. You'll see that as you go. Eric, thanks for putting that together today.
You bet. It's my pleasure. Thanks so much, Patrick. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, now Eric's going to let this run for maybe 60 more seconds. So be sure and get your handouts over there if you want to get those right now, and sign up for next week's webinar. Even if you don't know if you can be there, remember we record all these and we'll send you the link to the recording. All right, bye for now.
Bye-bye, everybody.